All right, so let's get straight into this tonight. It's Wednesday night. We're going to do Q&A and drop your questions below, ladies, and I will answer them as we go through. All right, so I had a couple left over from last week that I wanted to start off with while you guys put your own comments down below. And so we'll go through a couple of these before we start on yours for tonight. So one of the questions that came through was, how do you figure out how many calories someone should eat? It comes down to so many things, but first of all, we need to look at what is the goal. So where is it that you want to go? And then we need to look at where is it that you're starting from? How many calories are you eating now? Are you even tracking? Are we not tracking? We look at things like your activity levels. We look at things like your age with hormones as well. That makes a big difference, especially for women. Where you are at with your menstrual cycle, all those sorts of things. And then we have to have a play. There is no magic number. We might think that you sitting at 2,000 calories will have you lose some body fat. But then in reality, maybe you need to be at 16 or 17. Maybe we sit at 2,000 for a while and not much happens, and we need to drop down a little bit more if your goal is obviously body fat loss. But for some other people, we might go, do you know what? Let's start at 2,000 calories and see what happens. And you lose really quickly. So we know that we can bump it up. 2,000 is too low for you. You don't need to be losing that fast. Again, if your goal is to reshape your body as opposed to just losing weight, so you want to build some muscle and lose some body fat, then we're not going to go super low. We're going to start at a higher level and see what happens. We always have to start somewhere, track it for a month at a minimum, and see what happens. The scales might move, the scales might not move, but your clothes get looser, you shrink in size, all those sorts of things. So there's no hard and fast number. We take all of the data of your movement, your size, your age, and we come up with a number to start with. There's no specific number. I can tell you right now, it won't be 1,200 calories. All right, when you work with us, you won't be eating less than 1,600 calories, particularly at the start. We're going to see how much we can get away with you eating more and still reaching your goals. Because once you go down really low into that 1,200, 1,300, 1,400 calories mark, you are doing damage. You're going to lose weight fast, but a lot of it's going to be muscle, and you are going to slow down your metabolism, and you're going to ruin your body and its fat burning capabilities for a long time after. We're not doing that. I hope that answers that question. I'm having trouble seeing below. Get that come up. Yeah, I absolutely agree, Sarah. Absolutely agree. Yeah, you can be eating 2,000 calories and losing weight. And that is the goal. The goal is to get it so that your body stays the same. Your maintenance stage is like way over 2,000. How good would it be if 2,000 was your ultimate fat burning level? So you never have to eat below 2,000 calories. That would be amazing. In fact, that's my goal for everyone who comes to work with us. If you want it. It has to be your goal too, right? Beautiful. All right. Would you recommend eating 1,800 calories when most diets say 1,200? Yeah, I think I just sort of answered that one. A lot of diets that are aimed at the 1,200, they have their place depending on, so there's a lot of things dependent there. They have their place in things like bodybuilding preps. Because when you go to that 1,200 mark, you are really reducing your body's ability to use food efficiently, and it's going to want to store things. You will lose a lot of weight, and that's why a lot of diets and things that you see on the program, on the internet, is 1,200 calories, because they're going to get you results fast. And you think, oh, that was great, it worked, wow, I've lost all this weight, that program was fantastic. But then what do you do after? You can't maintain 1,200 calories forever. You will live a bloody miserable life if you consistently eat 1,200 calories a day forever. It's not okay. You will not feel okay. You will be tired, depleted, but you won't sleep well. You will be lethargic all day long. And eventually, you'll be at that point where if you have one thing off plan, or if you have a pizza or a big meal or something, you'll notice it. The scales will go here, there, and everywhere. Your body will show it. 1200 is not a safe number to stay at for any length of time. If you're going to do it for 2, 3, maximum 4 weeks for a quick shred and then build back up. I highly suggest not doing it in the first place. But if you're going to use it, that's probably the good rounding. All right. Hannah, good question, Hannah. So can you really lose fat eating more food? 100% you can. 100% you can. So right now, most people are not tracking what they're eating and are not eating as cleanly as they could be. Now, this is where calories matter, right? Calories matter because 1,000 calories of good whole food, like a big steak and some potato and some veggies, you wouldn't get anywhere near 1,000 calories just with that meal. But if you did 1,000 calories of that meal, A, you wouldn't finish it, but B, you would be so full for hours and hours and hours. Your body is working hard to digest that meal because it's protein. Whereas if you have 1,000 calorie meal from McDonald's, it's gone in 2 minutes. You are probably still hungry afterwards because it's loaded with sugars, it's loaded with preservatives, and it's not loaded with nutrients, whole food nutrients. So you're going to be hungry again later. And so you're going to want to eat more and eat more and eat more. So calories matter. And then that way, when it comes to being able to eat more food, right, you're going to eat more food by having a steak and potatoes and veggies than you are eating a hamburger and chips from McDonald's. You're going to eat more food. Plus, if we think of the overall day, your body has to adapt to the information that you give it. If you are giving it 1,200 calories, it's going to learn to survive on 1,200 calories. It's going to learn to survive on that. So what happens then is it stops its fat burning mechanisms because it thinks we need to store body fat for survival, which your body does do, particularly women, right? We need body fat levels to balance our hormones. And it becomes really efficient at 1,200 calories. Anything more, it's just going to store for extra. Whereas when we slowly start to increase that up, when you are eating enough food, your body is functioning as it needs to function. When you give it more, within reason, obviously, because we're in an obesity epidemic, right? People are eating too much, but people can also be eating too little to lose weight. In order to lose fat by eating more food, you've got to eat the right food. Like we said before, McDonald's versus the steak and veg, so that your body uses it properly. It takes a while to digest it, but it also starts using it for the good things that your body needs, like regenerating all of your systems, your tissues, your muscles, growing your muscles. And it starts to become a fat burning machine because it finds a beautiful rhythm of we've got enough food. We're now going to do this, 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 and this. So yes, you absolutely can. Good question. I think I went off on a bit of a tangent then, but that's okay, right? That's me. All right, let's have a look down here at the comments. Yep, agree. Yeah. Kelly's had more energy since she's been eating more food. 100% you have. I love that. So good. So good. All right, what happens if I eat too little? Well, yeah, you're going to see a change on the scales. Maybe. For a little while, you probably won't feel too bad. You'll feel hungry. But then you'll start to notice things like low energy, bad sleep. Your skin may start to show signs as well because you're not getting the nutrients that you need. Your hair stops growing, your nails become brittle, all those sorts of things. It's not just about the number on the scale, and we really need to, I'd love everyone to throw the scales out, to be brutally honest. But when you eat too little, you are doing as much damage to your body when you eat too little as when you eat too much and too much crap. We need to be eating enough to have our bodies working optimally. And this is not about the weight on the scale. It's not about the body size. It's about balancing your hormones. It's about having your cells regenerate so you can have new hair growth and new nail growth and new skin cell growth, so that your heart is functioning properly, so your brain is functioning properly. Eating too little has more impact on your body than just the number on the scale. All right. Do I believe in cheat meals and tracking every bite? Or tracking every bite? Okay, let's start with cheat meals. I don't even like that term because it's basically giving yourself permission to cheat yourself out of results. What I am a big believer in is at least 80-20. So we cannot live our entire lives on a strict meal plan. It is not fun. It is not social. We are human beings are social, and a lot of what we do socially is built around food. So we need to be able to fit in those bits of food that we deem to be social in with our goals. It has to be, we have to factor them into part of our plan. And that's really important. So don't do cheat meals. Just have a meal that you enjoy. And if it's not so great for you, just get back on it at the next meal. Don't plan to have a cheat meal. Yeah. Do I believe in tracking every bite? No. Yes. Has its place. Again, we can't spend our entire lives tracking our food because that is boring for most people. Some people can. And those hardcore into sports and whatever, yes, absolutely, they will. However, there is a big place for spending a period of time tracking everything that you put in your mouth, because from that, you will learn your poor habits. You will learn those habits that are making you overweight or that are keeping you stuck in your health goals. Because when you don't track things, you kind of add it in your head. Oh yeah, I had that, but that wasn't much. When actually probably added up to 600 or 700 calories. You know what I'm talking about. The extra cookie, the sugar in your coffee, the handful of nuts, the handful of chips, the roll of chocolate, all these things add up across the day, but we don't think of it as being much food because it wasn't a meal. Even things like a juice or a soft drink or, all those sorts of things, milk in our coffees and teas. So yes, track. If you are someone who is struggling, if you are not seeing the results that you want to see and you're not sure why and you feel like I'm not eating much, I'm not, doing all that, then track. It's not forever, but track for a month, track for a week, and you'll very quickly see what you are and are not doing that is leading you towards your goals. Cool. I hope that answers that question. How do you know if you're under eating or just not consistent enough? Is that what it says? How do I know if I'm under eating or just not being consistent enough, or even overeating? I guess we would add on to that one. You track. That's where tracking comes in handy, right? So you can actually tell how much you're eating every day or whether you are grabbing things you shouldn't be grabbing or whether you are not eating anywhere near enough, all those sorts of things. That's where tracking comes in really, really handy. Yeah, cool. Tracking has saved. Yep, beautiful. Love that, Han. Yep. Okay, so Kel's just written that she sorry, I got distracted then. Kel has just written that she feels like just that little bit of tracking every so often has really changed the game for her. So she now knows not to be, but she now knows when she's grabbing things she shouldn't grab, and is now more aware. I love that for you, Kel. Congrats. All right, let's go 2 more questions. Let's have a look through here. What does a typical day of eating look like for you? For me, I love food. For those that haven't worked that out yet, I love food. Eggs. Eggs is my breakfast. I will do them so many different ways. I do love them poached. They're my favorite. I'll do an omelette. I'll cook eggs. So eggs is generally my breakfast. If I'm not having breakfast because I'm not feeling hungry, because perimenopause sucks, some days you're not hungry, then I'll probably have eggs later in the day. If I'm snacking, it's always fruit or boiled eggs I might have in the fridge, things like that. I quite often cook really nice gourmet sausages and have them in the fridge. The girls take them for recesses and lunches. We have a beautiful shop nearby called Brian's Butcher Shop, so we get his sausages. I often have them cold, maybe for a snack. I love my protein. Same with steak, same with chops. I will just eat them straight up cold, or if I'm home for the day, I'll cook them for a mid-morning snack or for lunch. Lunch is always something huge on protein for me. So it's normally chicken breast with a bit of rice and veggies in some form, or a steak and some rice and veggies, or a potato. Dinner is always with the family, unless the girls are cooking something, because I make them cook once a week, at least. If they're doing something that doesn't sit well with me, like a creamy pasta or something, then I'll just get a steak out and have a steak, because I love my steak. I would eat steak and chicken breast and chops and sausages all day long. And I find that when I do, I sleep better, my energy's better, my skin's better. I do not feel anywhere near as bloated. That's why I eat a lot of meat, because I just feel so good on it. It works for my body, and my snacks are fruit and a little bit of chocolate. That's what a typical day looks like for me. It's a lot of meat in my diet. All right, last question. What's the biggest food mistake women make when trying to lose weight? Going down to 1800, eating too little, 100%, and then forgetting everything else. So forgetting to drink water, forgetting to focus on sleep, and then cutting everything out all at once, because they want to undo years of slow weight gain in a month, in 6 weeks, in 8 weeks. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen safely. That's probably the biggest mistake I see women make, rushing it. We overestimate what we can do in 8 weeks, or what we should be able to do in 8 weeks. Our bar is too high, but we underestimate what we can truly transform for ourselves in 12 months. And if every woman put 12 months for their plan, so what are we now? We're coming into summer. If every woman said, by next summer now, I want to have a ripped, toned body, maybe not even ripped, but a more toned body with a hell of a lot less body fat, you do need to start now. It's not going to happen by this summer unless you lose weight really fast, and then you won't look good, you won't feel good. And then it's that whole loose skin, no muscle tone. If that's what you're going for, go for it. But that's not the way we operate here. I want you to be healthy. I want you to be muscled, because when you have muscle, take away the looks, you feel better. Ladies, when you keep your muscle and lose the body fat, you have more energy. You make better decisions throughout the day. You feel more confident because your body is stronger. You will sleep better. Your hormones will be so much more balanced just from having muscle and eating better and losing that extra body fat. Whereas if you do it fast, you will wreck your hormones and feel like shit. The faster you do this, the worse you will feel. And no, it doesn't have to take a whole year. It can take less than that. It takes consistency. And you need to be prepared that the more controlled you do this, I'm not saying slow, because it doesn't have to be super slow. It just can't be as fast as we all want it like this. But the more controlled that you go into your body transformation, the better the results, the better you will feel, and the longer those results are going to stay around. So I guess I'm going to leave this question for you. Are you looking to lose weight just because, for now, and then are not worried about putting it back on? Because if so, go your hardest at 1,200 calories. Or are you looking to build a body that you love, that is healthy and strong and hormonally balanced and will stay with you like that for the rest of your life? If that's the case, then slow and consistent really does win. All right, ladies, we've hit the 20-minute mark. I can see some of your questions down there. We're going to add those to next week. Have an amazing week. Go and eat your protein. Go and drink your water and go and get some sleep. Have a great week, guys. Bye.